Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Ministry of Tourism signs an agreement to develop Al Nakhil Integrated Tourism Complex in the Wilaya of Barka. In order to push forward the wheel of development, 3 funding agreements are signed for development projects in the Wilaya of Sur. And discussions are held at the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Bremi to develop sectors of water, electricity and agriculture. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. A ceremony was held today to mark the signing of an agreement to develop Al Nakhil Integrated Tourism Complex in the Wilaya of Barka in the Governorate of South Batna. More details in the following report.
The Ministry of Tourism signed today an agreement with Palms Beach Company to develop the 265 million Omani Riyals worth Al Nakhil Integrated Tourism Complex (ITC), which will be located in the waterfront of the Wilaya of Barka in the Governorate of South Al-Batina. The project, which will stretch over about 500,000 square meters with usufruct right, has 833 meters of waterfront overlooking the Sea of Oman. It's provided with a 35,000 square meter man-made crystal lagoon that will be located in the middle of the project. The project includes 4- and 5-star international hotels, villas, townhouses, apartments, service apartments, a lagoon promenade and a traditional mixed-use souk, a shopping mall, an aqua park and a school. The units will be available for freehold by Omanis and foreigners. The subject property is located approximately 4.2 kilometers from the An-Nasim roundabout and directly adjoining the sea to the northern boundary. The planned new GCC railway link, enlargement of Muscat International Airport and general infrastructural improvements linking Barka to the central Muscat areas should contribute greatly to the emergence of Barka as an important and vibrant growth area. Al Nakhil ITC comes within the efforts made by the Ministry of Tourism in partnership with the private sector to implement and develop several ICT projects.
The Council of Ministers welcomed the willingness of the officers of the State and Shura Councils as well as the economic committees in holding semi-annual meetings with their excellencies, the ministers concerned about the economic domain. The Shura Council discussed during its meeting a number of ministerial replies on various development topics, some of which is the reply of His Excellency, the Minister of Environment and Climate Affairs, to the query request on environmental courts. The office also discussed a number of questions presented by the members of His Excellency, the Minister responsible for financial affairs, on the Sultan's strategy for saving the energy used in industrial sector, and His Excellency, the Minister of Housing, on raising registration fees of sales and endowment contracts and granted lands, in addition to the query rendered to His Excellency, the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, on reasons for non-establishment of a medical query for animals imported from abroad through border crossing of the Wilaya of Dal Khot. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al-Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council. The Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources and Oman Liquefied Natural Gas Company signed a funding agreement for 3 development projects in the Wilaya of Sur in the Governorate of South Sharqiya at the cost of 820,000 Omani Riyals. The first project is the establishment of a loading area for fishermen, while the second agreement concerns with a sea tourist front project at Al-Aghir area. The third agreement is about establishment of 3 playgrounds at the residential district and a children entertainment area. The agreements came within the role being played by the private sector in pushing forward the will of development in the Sultanate, enhance cooperation and achieve integration and community partnership. During the signing of the agreements, the Director of Social Responsibility at Oman LNG stressed that other agreements in social, health and education services will be signed at a later stage. Under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Talib Al-Hinai, Under-Secretary of the Planning Affairs of the Ministry of Health, a workshop began today on the World Health Organization's Patient Safety Curricula Guide into Healthcare Institutions. More details in the following report.
Integrating WHO Patient Safety Curriculum Guide into the healthcare academic institutions in the Sultanate was launched today. The two-day workshop will provide platform for sharing knowledge and information related to patient safety education and training among multidisciplinary healthcare professionals in Oman. Healthcare professionals will be introduced to 11 topics of patient health safety based on WHO guidance. Faculty members from medical, dental, pharmacy and allied healthcare institutions in Oman are participating in this workshop. Today's session witnessed presentation by Dr. Ali Al-Mandhari, who highlighted the assessing educational needs for patient safety teaching in Oman, while Dr. Munzir Latif from WHO Regional Office of the East Mediterranean region gave a presentation on orientation to the WHO patient safety curriculum. The participants were divided into 5 groups, which included physicians, dentists, nurses, pharmacists, and allied healthcare staff who have discussed the curriculum-related issues. The group presented their findings and discussed the recommendations. The groups are expected to come out with a 3-year action plan on scaling up patient safety education in healthcare academic institutions. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Still to come in our news bulletin. A course on sculptures art in the Governorate of South Batna aims to enhance the skills of teachers of fine arts. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The activities of verbal contest of Knowledge Development Program for Sciences and Mathematics subjects concluded at the Ministry of Education's Amphitheatre in Wataya. More details, more than 260 male and female students from various educational governorates of the Sultanate took part in the 2-day in the competition. It aimed to instill on students' scientific approach and innovation culture. It also assisted in evaluating the students' capabilities in mathematics, sciences and geographical concepts. The specialists in Public Authority for Electricity and Water, along with the Governor of Zahira and members of the Shura Council, gathered in a meeting in the Wilaya of Ibri to discuss topics related to transfer of desalinated water from Sohar Refinery to the Governorate of Zahira. With the increase in population and urban development as well as high consumption of water, the Public Authority for Electricity and Water took precautionary measures to limit water shortage in summer season by digging off some wells to help the citizens. The Municipal Council in the Governorate of Brahmi held its 4th meeting of the year. It discussed a number of topics related to water, electricity and agriculture. The meeting reviewed mechanisms of providing electricity services to some firms. It further focused on agricultural products and the establishment of a market in coordination with Brahmi municipality. The council also discussed phenomena of trucks parking in neighborhoods which affect traffic movement and causes problems to citizens. It also reviewed topics related to maintenance improvements of some wadi tracts in the governorate. The Governorate General of Education in the Governorate of Zahira organized a ceremony to celebrate Teachers' Day. The event aimed to honor teachers for their tireless efforts and devotion in educational march in the country, in addition to motivate them to be more creative and innovative to develop education field. The celebration included poetic sessions, artistic performances, as well as musical pieces to express gratitude and appreciation to teachers who provide knowledge to students and pave the way for their future. Sculptures on wood formed various artistic shapes during the course of Sculptures Art. The course gathered teachers of fine arts, Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of South Batna. It aimed to participate and to acquire the skills of sculptors and transfer what they learn to their students at schools. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of cloud accumulation over Hajar Mountains. Low clouds and fog expected over the Governorate of South Sharqiya and Worcester. Winds will be westerly to northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Ministry of Tourism signs an agreement to develop Al Nakhil Integrated Tourism Complex in the Wilaya of Barka. In order to push forward the will of development, 3 funding agreements are signed for development projects in the Wilaya of Sur. And discussions are held at the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Brahmi to develop the sectors of water, electricity and agriculture. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the studios and the newsroom, it's good night.